In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a really easy flower, and this video is going to be for absolute beginners, so it's going to be a pretty slow video, so I warn you now, because one of the first things that I wanted to make when I first started crocheting was flowers. So all you're going to need for this video is some yarn, and I've chosen some DK light worsted weight yellow yarn and a hook that goes well with your yarn. And because I'm using a light worsted weight yarn, DK yarn, I'm going to be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. That's an E hook. And I'm also going to be needing some scissors and a yarn needle, but these are optional really. Right, okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn and we're going to create a slip knot first. And to make a slip knot, all we do is we wrap our tail end. This is our tail end of our yarn. So we're going to wrap that round our fingers, our first two fingers. We're going to cross them over the other side. So just wrap them round and cross them over. And I use my third finger there just to hold that into place, to make sure they're crossed over. Then we get our hook. We're going to go underneath the first part of yarn. We're going to use our hook and grab the second piece, and we're just going to bring that up through. So we're just bringing that underneath, and then we let go of everything and then just pull up, and that creates our slip knot. So I'll just show you that again. I have done a video in more detail on doing a slip knot, but I thought so you can see it all in one place. So we just wrap that round our two fingers and cross over, hold it in place. Then we go under the first, and then just grab that second piece. So it's crossing over and coming underneath, so it's kind of knotting itself. And pull that up, then just let go of everything else, making sure to keep that on there. And then just pull the main piece of yarn, pulls it tight. And there we go, we have our slip knot. Excuse me. Okay, so what we're going to do now for our little flower is we're going to chain 7. So we're going to just put our hook underneath our yarn and we just pull it through the loop on our hook to create a chain. And we're going to do that 7 times. So we just hook our yarn, and I'm keeping it taut, keeping it a little bit tight in my fingers there just to create some tension, but not too tight. Just bring that through the loop on your hook each time. So that's 2, and wrap it over again, bring that through, 3, underneath, just bring that through, 4, 5, it's got 5 chains now, and all we're doing is we're just bringing this yarn, we're just pulling it through the loop on our hook, 6, like so, and when we've got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 chains. When we've got 7 chains, what we want to do is we want to put our hook through our first chain. So we find our first chain. So we've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's our first one there. And you see that little hole there? We just want to put our hook through that hole. And I'm just catching the top piece of yarn. You can ignore the rest on the bottom. We just want to catch that top piece. We're just putting our hook through that chain, catching that top piece, and we're going to bring our yarn through that loop and the loop on our hook. So we're bringing it through the 2 loops, the chain and the loop on our hook. And there, that creates a slip stitch by doing that, just bringing it through the chain and then straight through our loop. That creates a slip stitch. And also it's created a little loop like so. So you've got your 7 chains and they're connected at the beginning, and they've created a little loop, and you've got a hole in the middle. And it's that hole in the middle that we're going to work some stitches into to make a flower. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain another 4 stitches. So we're going to go back to our chaining. So we're just using our fingers, our hands, just to keep that a little bit tight. We're just going to chain 4. So we're going to grab our yarn and put it through the loop on our hook again. So that's 1, and again, 2, 3 and 4, like so. So you've chained 4 again, so it looks a little bit like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work a treble crochet stitch, and that might sound a bit scary and a bit big, but it's very simple, because what we do is we wrap our yarn around our hook a couple of times like so. So you end up with 3 loops. You've got your main hook, main loop, and then you've wrapped your yarn around once to create a second loop, and then twice. And keep it fairly loose so it moves up and down fairly easy. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it like really loose because it will come undone. And again, using your hand to keep it tight. What we're going to do is, once we've wrapped it round twice, we're going to put our hook through the centre of the little loop we created. So that big hole in the middle, we're just going to put our hook through there. We're going to grab our yarn and bring it up from there. So just bring it through that loop like so. And obviously if you're keeping this tight with your other hand, then it makes this stay together a bit better. So now you should have 4 loops. You've got your main loop, then you've got the 2 you wrapped around, and then the one you've just pulled through. So we're going to yarn over again. I'm going to just hook our yarn again, making sure to keep our tail out of the way. So we're going to hook our yarn again, and we're going to bring it, we're going to pull it through 2 loops. We're going to put it through that first one and the next one, like so. So we've got 3 loops left. We yarn over again, and then we're going to put it through 2 loops again. So we've got 2 loops left. Then yarn over and pull through the last 2. So we end up with 1 loop again that we're working with, and that finishes our treble crochet stitch. So that's quite a big stitch you've just learned. Maybe you know already. Like I said, this video is going to be a fairly slow video, so do excuse me if I sound like I'm patronising your crochet skills if you know what you're doing. But I wanted this video to be for absolute beginners, so do bear with. So we're going to do another 2 of these treble crochet stitches. We're going to do that twice more. So again, we wrap the yarn around twice around our hook, keeping it a little bit tight in our hands like that so it doesn't all unravel. And then we put our hook back through that centre loop in there, and we're going to grab our yarn and pull it through like so. So we've got our 4 loops. I might just hold that in place as I move my hands around. And again, we just wrap the yarn over our hook, and we're going to pull it through the first 2 loops like so. And you want to keep these loops fairly loose, they move up and down, so you can pull them through, because if these are too tight you'll find it very difficult to pull them through. So do keep them loose enough so they move up and down. And what we do next is we do yarn over and we pull through the next 2 loops like so. And as you can see, when I move the crochet hook, I actually, as we do the last one, I pull for the last 2, I just curl it under, and I twist the hook down so it's pulling that yarn, keeps it on the hook. So I twist the hook round to face downwards as I go through my stitches, and as I come out the other side I twist it back up to face up again, and that controls the stitch. So I'm going to do 1 more of those treble crochet stitches. So I'm going to yarn over twice, go back through that centre loop and grab our yarn, and again twisting that hook down and then up, and we're going to grab our yarn and pull through again, twisting the hook down through the first 2 and then up, and yarn over, down through the next 2, then up at the end so we don't lose our yarn, then down and through the last 2 and up like so, and that creates our 3rd treble crochet stitch. Then to finish our first petal we just chain 4, so that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. And all we do to finish our first petal is we're going to do a slip stitch into our centre ring, and to do that we don't yarn over anything, we go straight through the loop and grab our yarn, pulling it up, and then we just pull it through our loop straight away. We don't do anything else, we just pull it straight through the main loop and then straight through the loop on our hook, and that creates our first petal, like so. And we'll just basically repeat those same steps another 4 times. So we're going to chain 4 again, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 3 treble crochet stitches. So we're going to yarn over twice, 1 and 2, just keeping it a little bit tight on there so it doesn't go too loose. I just hold that like that, and I put my hook through that centre loop, and I'm going to grab the arm and twist the hook down and up. And I'm just going to hold those in place while I move my hands around, and then we yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. So always remember just to pull through the first 2. Yarn over, pull through the last 2, like so. And we do that another twice more. So put the yarn around your hook twice and go through that big hole and grab the yarn, pull it up, then yarn over, pull through the first 2, making sure to twist your hook up again, so it's up, and then twist the hook down as you go through your stitches and up, and then twist the hook down as you go through the last 2, then up, like so. Always making sure to keep that yarn on your hook, and wrap around twice for our last treble stitch. Go back through, pull up. I find it easier to hold the flower when I do yarning through the stitches. It holds the stitches in place. Go for the first 2, yarn over, go for the next 2, and yarn over, go for the next 2, like so. And I'm just pushing all the stitches along. Then we chain 4, 1, you notice my hook twist down and then up, 3 and 4, and then we just do a slip stitch to bring our petal back down. And all we do is literally we're just going for the loop, grabbing our yarn and putting it straight through the loop on our hook, like so. And then we have our second petal, like so. And we're just going to do that another 3 times. You can pull your tail end a little bit. Another 3 times. Get this tail end out of the way. If it does annoy you, you can always trim it down. It keeps getting in the way. So we're going to do that another 3 times. So we chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's no set way to hold your hook. You just do what feels right for you. There's lots of so-called rules out there on how to hold a hook, but you hold it how you want to, what feels comfy for you, because at the end of the day you just want to be able to crochet, so that's the main thing. So don't worry too much about how you hold the hook. I think the only thing I recommend is just using these 3 fingers to just keep your yarn a bit tight to help with your tension. But we've chained 4, so we're going to go back to our 3 treble crochet stitches. So we just yarn over twice, go through that main loop and just twist our hook down and up. And then I'm going to bring these fingers around to hold my flower into place so I can see my loops. And I'm going to yarn over, grab that yarn again, bring it through the first 2 and up. Grab the yarn, bring it for the next 2, grab the yarn, bring it for the last 2. There's our treble crochet stitch. Let's do that twice more. See my fingers always coming in to hold my project. Through 2, or through 2, through 2. Move our stitches over, Yarn over twice for our last one. Back through, grab our yarn, bring it up, and I hold these with this finger while I move these to hold my project. Yeah, grab our yarn and bring it through 2. Grab our yarn, bring it through 2. Grab the yarn, bring it through 2. And there we go. We've done 3, so we just chain 4 now. Chain 1, 2. See my fingers are always holding the project. 3 and 4. And we need to do that awkward slip stitch, which is basically just keeping that tight, going through the main loop, grabbing the tail, grabbing the yarn, and then just again holding the project with my fingers to see that loop, just bringing it up through that loop on the hook straight away. And there's our 3rd leaf. It looks like a 3-leaf clover at the moment. And we're just going to do that twice more. So again we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do yarn over twice for our treble crochet stitch. You might have to move your stitches over to make sure there's enough room. And then we go through there, grab our yarn, and then I'm going to use these fingers to hold that into place, this finger, while I move these fingers to hold my project. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. So always working with the one stitch, move that over, and do that twice more. And just finish up on the last petal by chaining 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We need to move these stitches over so we've got the space, and we're just going to do 3 treble crochets as normal. Back through that loop, grab a yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice, grab a yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and the last one. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we need to chain 4 at the end. 1, 2, and 4, and we just slip stitch. So we get in, grab our yarn, and using this finger to hold it, and we hold our project, just bring it straight through the loop on our hook. And there's our little flower, like so. So I'll just bring that up. You should be able to see your little flower. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim off my yarn. I'm just going to pull that, find which end moves, and pull that up. And you can use that to hang or whatever you want to do, and then just pull the tail end, just bring in the middle circle just a little bit, and there we go. There's our really little simple flower just worked into a loop of chains. And I hope as a beginner you managed to follow along and even if you're not a beginner and you're used to crochet. I hope you like the pattern. Just a little simple flower. I'm going to do a few more of these really simple flower projects for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial, and I shall see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!